Hello, I'm Danny Barnes, and I'm here today with Coach Johnson on this edition of Wolves Weekly.
And hi, Danny. I'm here. I'm Mike Johnson. I'm here with Danny Barnes on this edition of Wolves Weekly.
We have a great friendly time going on.
We will. Let's see what we can talk about today.
I'd like to start off talking to you. You guys have now been into your indoor season. You just had your second meet of the indoor season last week at the UW Invite, and had a very successful meet. Maybe technically, in terms of provisional qualifying and automatic qualifying marks, maybe the best ever at Division II level for Western Oregon University.
Oh, it was. It's not even debatable. It's just some excellent marks, good competition. We took an elite group up to this meet, and really accomplished most of our goals. I mean, in many ways, our goals are qualifying for conference, of course, but the other is to try to move people towards nationals and try to get our athletes the opportunities they need to be able to really succeed. And we had that. I think the two marks that really come to mind were the all-time best for the men's 4x4. And that group ran very well. And all-time GNAC best, not just a school record. And an Applebee's auto qualifier in the 800, which is a school record as well. But also, right now is the #1 Division II time. I mean, Jeff Long's record and Ashley Potter and those people, and what they did, fantastic stuff. They're really doing very, very well. And we had other people. And what gets lost in all that was the number of people that we had that moved up themselves or displaced people on the all-time top 10 list in their event.
Tell me a little bit about that too. You're talking to me, but you're not just getting in distance races, not just sprint races. You basically had a variety of different ones. You're talking about Ashley Potter, who did it in the triple jump. You have a relay
triple jump,
race.
4x4, men's mile, women's 800, and again another woman in the 800 as well, in Janelle Everett. And so those, qualifiers in a variety of different areas. And of course we had bests that were performed in other events as well. And we didn't take everybody. This is a meet I think we could have done even more. But those people are in training, and we're trying to get everybody ready, like I said, Danny, to the conference meet, trying to move people forward.
That conference meet Coach Johnson is talking about comes up on February 20th. The Great Northwest Athletic Conference Championships over in Nampa at the Idaho Center, the indoor track over there.
Sure.
Tell us how you're going, kind of training, and talk about that, how you guys go preparing for that. Only 3 weeks away now.
It's just, we use indoor. Certainly we compete for the championship, and that's what we want to do, is win those. But we, in a sense, use indoor to get ready for outdoor. I think it's very difficult to start in September and end in May, and to put that same level of intensity up for 8 months. It's very, very difficult. And so right now, much of our training is to achieve at the conference meet, but also to build on that conference meet to do even more outdoors.
Well, then, what are some of the training techniques you do during the indoor season to try to prepare for these, since you can't always be outside?
Well, there's the opportunity to be in different events. The 35 and 20-pound weights help the hammer. The 3K, the flat 3K, which I think is a great race. We don't have it at the national level anymore, but the flat 3K is a very good preparatory race. For the 5,000 is a speed race. For the 1,500 is a strength race. We run people in events up or down from what their key event might be somewhere else. And so while we're scoring points in those events, we're also providing a training background in a breadth of racing and participation that serves what might be their primary event or primary and secondary events outdoors.
So how do you feel that the people are going through training right now? Maybe not just for the GNAC, but like as you said.
Sure. I think it's probably, since I've been here, the best attitude group we've had in training. Every day. I mean, people out very consistently. The only thing that anybody's ever gone for is class, and we have class conflicts. A lot of times they get in the way of some of the training, but I guess if we didn't have classes, we wouldn't have any training, so it doesn't bother me too much. And the whole atmosphere of the team is really very good. It's good in the bus trip up and the bus trip back. Well, we don't watch a lot of movies. Everybody spends a lot of time working and speaking and talking with each other.
What are some of the other I know you have a couple other meets before your GNAC, but what are you guys going to do heading into that?
Well, again, we have those people that we'll try to enhance the people with national marks or the people that are just off national marks and give them an opportunity to move forward. So that's a pretty much a primary focus. But we'll also take a look at the conference list and say, now, where can we get people into the conference meet who can place and score in the various events? And not only where can we get people in, but where can we get people in that will help the rest of the team perform better, not just the people who are getting in. So it's almost, we get into a situation where we have a training group at practice, but we also have a racing or competitive group at the meet that complement one another.
And are your student athletes willing to go off, if he's primarily an 800 runner, willing to sacrifice to go down the 400 if it means an opportunity to do that? I guess
Sure,
just
sure. No, in many times, that's something to look forward to, because it's a change of the rhythm that they would, you don't want the race that's your primary race to become mundane. You want to have excitement as you go into it. And by changing, by racing shorter, you bring more intensity and the ability to get engaged in the race at a higher level of intensity. By racing longer, you bring a certain amount of strength and focus and concentration to it, and it just makes you a more complete athlete. And the same thing, say a long jumper and a triple jumper. Mm-hmm. And those events can complement each other, but maybe at championship time, then you're going to really focus more on what your primary event is, but you've done other things before that, both to keep mentally fresh and to prepare yourself physically.
Fantastic. Well, that is head coach of the men's and women's track and field teams, as well as the men's and women's cross-country teams, Coach Mike Johnson. Thank you all for joining us on Bulls Meet.